Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video, I will show you how to overlay text on a video in React Native's new architecture for iOS using AVMutableComposition. I've already done a video on React Native's new architecture for Android. So if you're interested, you can watch that video. But yeah, let's get started with this one. So first I'll show you the output. First thing important is uh, like this particular code which I will show you later on, it only works on iOS 18 and above, so you would require iOS 18. I do have the code for iOS 17 as well, but I have commented that code out because in Swift 6 it causes a lot of issues which I don't know how to resolve. Sorry about that. Second thing is, you cannot run this output on a simulator. You will have to run it on a real device. Only on simulator it crashes. So yeah, be mindful of that. So here I have two buttons, select video and save video. So I'll click on this select video button first. It will ask me to pick a video from the Photos app. I will just select this particular video. It will start the process of overlaying some text on the video. The text also is defined by me. So here you can see it has overlaid this particular text on the video. I have just paused the video. So here you can see I am able to see coding with nobody. So let me play the video as well, just so that. Okay, so hopefully you got the point. Now we need to save the video as well, so we can save this particular video to the Photos app as well. So if I click on the save videos button, first I will need to grant the Photos app permission. So if I click on allow full access, and here you can see the video was saved successfully. Now if you want, you can go to the Photos app over here, and here you can see the video has been saved to the Photos app as well. If I open it, here you can see the video has started playing with some text at the center of the screen, the overlaid text. So hopefully you got the point. So yeah, that's what we will be checking out, how to do this in this particular tutorial. So firstly, what you will have to do is, you will have to open this particular documentation. This is necessary because I will be copying some code from this particular documentation. Like, it is not pretty straightforward. We have to use Objective-C, we have to use Swift as well. Also, at the time of me recording this video, I am using React Native 77. Now from React Native 77, even though the iOS part does not use any Objective-C like it is in Swift, still while writing a native module we have to use Objective-C and then bridge it with Swift. So that's the reality of React Native, unfortunately. Okay, let me just click on this, but first let's get started. So as usual, you will have to create a React Native application using this React Native CLI command. Do not add this version. Like I told you, I'm using version 77. Whatever is the latest version of you while watching this video, it will automatically pick the latest version if you do not provide this particular version number. And instead of turbo module example, you can write your own project name. Okay, so once that is done, once you have created the project, so you can just open your project inside VS Code. Once the project is open, firstly we have to create a folder called specs. If you see the documentation, that's what they say. So create a folder called specs. Inside that we have to create a TypeScript file. Now in our case, native local storage does not make any sense, the name of the file, so I have named it as native overlay text.ts. Now the native word is very important, so make sure you do not forget that particular text word. Okay, so native overlay text, you can name it whatever you feel like, but if you're doing this for the very first time, I would recommend you follow what I'm doing, because this name will be used in lot of places as well. So yeah, you might get confused, so it's better you follow what I'm doing. So that's what I have named. Next, I have copied this entire bit of code from the documentation itself, so this particular code, but I have not using all these four methods. I have just changed it to, first is overlay text, which takes the video URL of the picked video as well as the text which we want to overlay, and it returns the path of the transformed video, which is not saved to the Photos app yet. It is saved temporarily in the apps directory. Now once the user wants to save the video, we send this particular string which we got in the first method's output as an input to the second method, and then we just return a boolean just to say whether the video was saved or not properly. And here we just again, this you will have to change to whatever is your TypeScript file name. So I have changed it as native overlay text. Once that is done, we have to copy paste this particular bit of code inside our package.json file. So just go to your package.json and paste this particular bit of code. Again, you will have to rename this name to native overlay text or whatever is your TypeScript file name, followed by the word spec. Do not miss out the word spec. And for Android, like, we are not really using this for Android, but anyways I have done it. The package name should be native overlay text, so make sure you do these changes as well. Once this is done, you will have to go to your project and just do npm install, because we have made changes inside our package.json. I have already ran it, so I won't run it again. Then you need to install two more dependencies. First is React Native image picker for picking the video. So make sure you do something like this: npm install React Native image picker. Once that is done, you again have to install one more dependency, React Native video, for playing the transformed video. Okay, so make sure you do npm install React Native video as well. Again, I have already done this, so I'm not doing this again. Okay, once that is done, again let's come back to the documentation. Then we'll have to go to the iOS folder. We will have to cd to the iOS directory, and then we have to run this particular command, bundle install. So just paste it over here. Again, this will take little bit of time. I have already ran this command, so I'm not running it again. And once you run this particular command, you will have to run this particular command as well, bundle exec pod install as well. Again, just run this particular command. Yeah, and again this will take little bit of time because it needs to do the pod install, like code generation for our spec folder, as well as pod installation for React Native image picker, as well as React Native video. So just be patient. Once that is done, here you can see they are telling us okay, they are telling us how to use it. First we'll check the implementation later on. Then you can just go to app.tsx. Firstly, I have imported this React video from React Native video, launch image library from React Native image picker, and a native overlay text as well from the specs file which we have created. Make sure you also import touchable opacity as well as alert from React Native video. And here I have just created a use state. So here basically we are saving the URI of the transformed video inside this particular use state variable. So make sure you use import use state from React as well. Then here inside the UI part, I have just created one button, and on click of it we just launch the image library. Media type is video, selection limit is 1. Once the video has been picked, we just call the overlay text method which we have written, and just pass the URI of the selected video and what text you want it to be overlaid. So I want just coding with nobody. And once I have the this will give me the URI of the transform video. I'm just assigning it, like updating the state for our video URI. And once this has been done, here you can see we start playing the video. So I've just added one check. If this is not equal to empty, then start playing the video, like start displaying the video element. So yeah, you can change the width and height to whatever you feel like. Make sure you add this controls as well. So you have this play and pause button, and I have added one more button just to save the transformed video. So again, here you can see that I'm just calling the save video method which we have defined. And once if it is success, it returns a boolean back, right? So once it is success, I'm just displaying an alert. So if it is true, then I'm displaying success. If it is false, then I'm displaying failure. Okay, so this is done as well. Yeah, then once this is done, if you see the documentation, like we can't really use this code because they have defined their own methods. So yeah, then they say that we have to open the XE workspace. So we don't need to write this command, we can do it manually. So just go to your React Native project, go to the iOS folder and double click on this .exe workspace. It will open it for you in Xcode. I have already done that as well. Next, if you see, they tell us to create a group with the TypeScript file name. So that's what I have done over here. So just go to your project, right click, new group, okay, and give it I made a mistake. I did this. Yeah, ignore this. I think I selected the wrong option, that's why it selected this particular group. Don't do this. You have to right click. I don't even know how to get rid of this. Maybe I can Okay, I think I can do this. Okay, it is not going away. What if I just delete the group? It deleted everything for me. Sorry about this. Just go to, where did all the file go? Okay, no worries. I have, let me just come back and fix this. Yeah, sorry about this. Okay, sorry about that. So what you have to do is just right click on it and select new group, and you have to name it as native overlay text or whatever is your TypeScript file name. Like I said, I have already created this, so I'll just delete this empty group which I have created. Then inside this you again have to right click, select this new file from template, and select this Cocoa Touch class, click next, and you have to give name as rct, then your TypeScript file name. So in our case it is native overlay text, right? So make sure you name it properly. Okay, so something like this, and language should be Objective C. Click next. Okay, and then click create. Like I said, I have already created this file. Make sure this target is checked as well before clicking on create. Now once you click on create, Xcode will ask, do you want to create a bridging header? Click yes. So once you do all this, you should see this header file, you should see this Objective C file, but for this Objective C file you will have to change the extension manually from .m to .mm, so it is Objective C++, and you should see this particular bridging header file as well being created. Now inside this bridging header file, from React Native 77 onwards, we have to add this particular import as well, because if you look at the main React Native iOS project, it is entirely in Swift, so we have to add this particular import as well. So make sure you copy paste this import inside your bridging header file. Once you do that, come back to this header file. This I have just copy pasted it from the documentation, so if you see over here, they have also mentioned the same thing. So this I have copied pasted it from the documentation, but in the documentation they have missed out this particular thing, ns assume non null end. Unfortunately, I hope by the time you guys watch it they fix it, but if not, just ignore it. You can just copy my code. So I've copy pasted this from the documentation entirely. Extra thing, this I have added non null end, as well as this particular name has been changed, this particular name has been changed, this name has been changed, and this name has been changed, like depending on about TypeScript file name. Rest everything remains the same. Then we have to come to our Objective C file. Now the entire logic will be written in Swift, because I'm not confident writing it in Objective C, that's why. So firstly we have to import our header file, then this should be your bridging header name. So my bridging header name is rnapp, as you can see. So you will have to write your own bridging header name dash swift.h. This is necessary because we are calling Swift code from Objective C code. Then this I have copied it from the documentation, only this name has I have changed. This also I have copied it from the documentation, only this name has I have changed. This also copied it from docs, and this name I have changed. Here we initialize our Swift file, so native overlay text. Okay, then here also I have copied it from the documentation, and only this name I have changed as well. Rest everything remains the same. And here we are overriding the save video method, which we defined it inside our TypeScript file. So what we are doing over here, on the main thread we call the save videos to photos with URL method, which have been defined it inside the Swift file. We pass the path, which we get it over here as an input param, and if it is successful we return yes, if failure we return this particular error back to React Native side. Okay, and for overlay text again we do the same thing. On the main thread we call this overlay text with URL, which has been defined it on the Swift side. We pass the text to it as well as the URL, and here is a completion listener. If it is successful then we resolve it, otherwise I have throw an error. So hopefully you got the point. Now the main part is we have to create a Swift file as well. So again just right click, new file from template, Swift file, next, and you can just name it as native overlay text like I have done. Let me show it to you. Here you can see this I have done. One more thing before I forget, you have to go to the iOS folder. You can do this from Xcode as well. Go to iOS, go to your app, go to info.plist, and here make sure you add this photo library usage description permission as well. This is necessary for saving the videos to the Photos app. Also, one more thing which I mentioned to you is this only works on iOS 18 and above. Like, I will show you the code below iOS 18 as well, but like I said, if you're using Swift 6, there is one issue for that particular code which I have commented it out for below iOS 18. Then you will have to fix it by yourself only. So here inside your project, go to general. Here you will have to click on the plus button. Here you will have to write 18.0 as well as 18.0 over here as well. Okay, so we are raising the minimum deployment target. Then here is our Swift file. Here we import UIKit as well as photos. Then here we have created this NS object as well. We have to write this @OBGC member so that it is accessible from Objective C. Here we created a file manager. Here we override this overlay text method, created this method, sorry, which takes a URL and text. So this method is called from Objective C side, and it has this completion handler as well. And internally it creates a task and it calls this particular method overlay text on video, passing the URL of the selected video as well as the text. And once it is successful, it gives the URL back of the video which has been stored temporarily inside the apps directory. So if you see over here, this is the method. So here we create an AVMutableComposition as well as an AVURL asset. Then here we just create a video track. We get hold of an audio track as well. Then here we get the duration of the video. Then here we load the tracks from our video asset. Then here we load the track from our audio as well, like asset audio track. Then here we create a time range from 0 to duration of the video. Then here we insert the time range inside our video track, insert the time range inside the audio as well. Then we create an AVMutableComposition. Then we get the natural size of the video. Here I am setting the frame duration. Then I have created a parent layer as well as a video layer. Then here I am setting the parent layer size, same for then the video layer size as well, adding our video layer to our parent layer. Then here we create a text layer as well. Here you can change the text layer to whatever you feel like a background color, foreground color, string, font size, shadow, opacity, alignment mode, frame. So change it. Here this frame part is very important. Like, I wanted my text to be at the center of the video, but you can play around with this. Like, if you're adding a watermark logo or something like that, then you can add it maybe at the right hand side bottom. You can just use ChatGPT for this. It will give you the exact code. Okay, this is the only code which you will have to change. Rest everything remains the same. Then should rasterize is true. And then we add our text layer to our parent layer. Then here we set the animation tool. Then we create an AVMutableComposition instruction. We create a CM time range make. Then a layer instruction as well. Then we set the layer instruction as well as the instruction. Then we create an export path as well as an export URL. And if the file xmanager.file exists, then we'll remove the file. Then we create an AV asset export session. We assign the video composition should optimize for network use is true. Now this particular bit of code is only available from iOS 18. So here we just export the export URL, and then here we just look for state inside it. Now if you want code for below iOS 18 as well, you will have to uncomment this and have to uncomment this else block as well. But like I said, this particular bit of code throws error in Swift 6. I don't know how to resolve it. That's why I have commented this out. And at the end we return the export URL as well. Now for saving the videos to the Photos app, here again I have defined a method which takes the URL, and here we first check whether the user have access to the Photos app or not. If yes, then only we proceed. I'll show you this method in a bit. And once the user has the access, we just do fetch photo library.share.perform changes, create request for asset from video, pass the file URL to it. If it is success, then we say the completion is true, otherwise we say completion is false. And this is the method for getting the Photos app permission. So I know this is a bit complicated, but unfortunately this is how it is. I've tried to make it as simple as possible. I'll simply scroll through this file one more time. Feel free to pause the video wherever you feel like and just copy the code. So yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye.